A beautiful day here in LA, and it's that time of the week where I make our family our weekly bone broth. If you're new here, welcome. I'm May, and I love living a wellness-focused lifestyle rooted in nourishing foods. And today, I'm sharing all my tips and tricks on quality, high collagen bone broth. This has become one of those weekly rituals for me, not just for the health benefits, more because it slows me down, and it's one of those rituals that feels really grounding. The key to quality bone broth is quality bones. A splash of apple cider vinegar to really pull out all of the minerals, and time, letting it simmer slow and low. Patience is everything here. The longer it cooks, the richer, the more collagen. One tip that I don't hear enough people talking about, but letting your bone broth cool completely before storing it makes all the difference. The way that we like to use bone broth here in our house is we sip it first thing in the morning. I've been really in a spiral of Chinese medicine and realized how important it is to wake up your digestive system by simple things like waking it up with warm water. Bone broth will do just good and has more nutrients than warm water. So I've been kind of leaning more towards the bone broth. One of the simplest ways to support your digestive system, in addition to your hormones, joints, skin, and the list goes on. So if you're like me and want something tangible and simple, couldn't recommend bone broth enough. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you try this or if this is something you're curious about. Let's get into it. So I laid out all my ingredients here. Now today I'm going to be working with some chicken feet and chicken back as the main source of protein. In terms of legumes, it's really up to you and how you want to season your bone broth. There's no wrong answers here. I'm going to stick to the basics. I like mine to kind of taste a little bit like chicken noodle soup. So I start with some carrots, celery, onion will really bring out the flavor. But one important thing to note, if you are planning on sharing this with your fur babies, do not add onion or garlic as those are toxic to dogs. I'm also going to add some ginger and some turmeric and black pepper to really get that turmeric going. Now, one thing that I have seen a lot of people do is roast their vegetables and meats before adding it to their broth. So I'm going to be doing that today. It's one of those things that apparently is supposed to give some more deep, rich flavor to their broth. Stove is preheated to 450. I'm going to just prep all of my ingredients here and throw it in the stove for about 40 minutes. I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on top just to help with the roasting. I'm going to pop this right into the oven for 40 minutes. Now, while my meat is in the oven, I'm going to prep my vegetables. I'm going to wash these guys. Picked it up from the farmer's market, so there's still some dirt in it. And I'm just going to cut them so they fit nicely in my tray. Pretty that looks. Now I follow a lot of people that make bone broth, and I am someone who pretty much in my personal life as well was always trying to do or live life better than I did yesterday. So that goes into the things I cook too. I always try to make it better than the previous time. I'm always trying to evolve in a way. So this is something that I saw that made me really curious to see if it, one, makes a difference, and two, makes it any better in taste. I mean, it already tastes so yummy, but if it gets better, why not try? So I'm gonna add some olive oil to my veggies as well, just to help them roast better. I'm gonna throw this into the oven to roast with our meats. 40 minutes done. Ooh, our veggies are definitely roasted. Look at that. Set this aside. Let's bring our pot to the side here. Nice. It smells so good. All right, I'm gonna put this, put this here. I'm gonna put all of my meat in the bigger pot here. It smells so good. So I'm gonna put all of this in here. Ooh, look at that, wow. Just lay it in my pot, and I'm gonna put my roasted vegetables all on top here. What's Mama cooking? I just hear her pitter patter, little claws coming down the stairs. What's Mama cooking, baby? It does smell really nice. Now, this got rid of a lot of the gunk. I see all the gunk here on my foil here, but there's so much juice that I'm wondering if I should put some of the juice in here, but just strain out the gunk, because I feel like this is good juice. Look at that. Love color in my food. It's amazing. Okay, so now I'm going to fill this up with water. Put this on the stove. Now we're going to turn the stove on medium-high heat. Bring this to a boil. I'm going to throw in some black pepper. I'm going to put in some turmeric, and the black pepper is really to activate the turmeric. I'm just going to eyeball this, but I could put about a tablespoon's worth. And this is really good for anti-inflammatory properties. And then for our apple cider vinegar, I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons. And this is going to help extract the minerals from our cartilage and bones in here. Now I'm going to give this a good mix to make sure all of that is blended nicely in here. Cover this, and we're going to check on this in about 2 hours or so. A few more hours passed by. I added some more water to this as it evaporated a bit. I also added in here a bay leaf, some rosemary, and oh my god, it smells so good. It's going, and I can't wait to try this one. I've never added rosemary before, so I'm excited to see what this is like. It's about 4 o'clock now, so I'm going to leave this going for a little bit more. Probably going to need to add some more water, and I'll show you guys right before we go to bed too how I just turned this down a little bit so I could sleep overnight on the stove. Getting ready to go to bed, so I'm going to add some more water. And this thing that I add, I believe it has about 2 cups, so I typically will always add about 2 cups worth per time I do it. I'm just going to add about 2 cups. It's still pretty high water content, so I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to cover it so we can leave this overnight, and then I'm going to turn it down on the lowest setting of my stove here, which is just this low, and that's just going to really just keep it warm overnight. And in the morning I'll show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to probably turn up the heat a little bit. I'm probably going to have to refill some water, so I'll show you guys that process as well. Good morning. It's such a gloomy day this morning. It's raining after such a beautiful week in LA. Let me show you guys what our bone broth is looking like. It smells delicious. It's been on super low heat overnight. I'm going to leave it on for a few more hours. I believe we started really late yesterday, so I want to give this kind of a 24-hour simmer. I believe that the longer the better. Low and slow is really where you get that strong, dense, nutritious bone broth. So I'm going to leave it on for a little bit more, and I'll walk you guys through the process of how we store it, how we drain it, how we store it, and what we use it for throughout the week. I'll show you guys what it's looking like right now. It looks so delicious. Ooh. Look at that. Now at this point, the vegetables and all the meat is probably super fall apart. You can kind of see all of the oils too on the top. Now, because this was on super low heat, it didn't evaporate as much, which is good. We don't want it to evaporate too much overnight where we're not able to control it and add some water back in. Turned up the heat this morning. Now it's back to a gentle boil, and this is where I'm going to leave it at. Here for a little bit more, and then I'll probably refill this with some more water, let it go for a little bit more, and then we'll drain it again. And I'll walk you guys through this process as well. Our bone broth has been cooking low and slow, and now it's time to drain it all, store it, and enjoy some of it. Let me walk you through the process on how I do and how we make sure it lasts throughout the week. One thing that is great about this pot is that you could lift it up like so, and this avoids a lot of burns. Now, our bone broth still has a few particles in it, so I'm going to use a smaller strainer like this just to catch any of those particles, especially since I put some rosemary in here and those particles are a little small. So it's going to catch any other particles that we don't want to make sure that our bone broth is nice and clean. I'm running out of mason jars, so I'm improvising and putting it into a dish like this. Probably gonna need a few. There you have it. Now, I like to store them in these mason jars. I'm gonna let them fully cool on the stovetop before I put them in the fridge. Then it's easy as putting it in the fridge if you plan on drinking it that week. I personally love to drink it every morning as my first meal of the day. This is high in proteins, very good for skin, hormones, your digestive system. So this is medicine in a glass. If you want these to last longer, let it cool, let it stay in the fridge overnight. My recommendation, if you want to get that gelatiny texture, leave it in the fridge overnight, then freeze it in the morning, and that will be your best bet. Let me know in the comments if you guys tried this or have any curiosity in trying to make your own bone broth at home. It's super easy, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Until next time.